What drew you to your field and how has your perspective on it evolved over time?
What drew me to my field was just this innate desire for me to serve the society. We are very proud to say that we donate 80% of our net profits back to charitable causes globally.
What were the few challenges that you might have faced?
When you're a startup, what do you face the most? One, nobody wants to trust you with money. Your product and your services will stand up to scrutiny.
What are some common misconceptions that you faced about your profession? Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Wow, it's a good question. One aspect that I think is a problem with a lot of entrepreneurs, in my view. Ravi Shankar once said that use your ego when you're failing and drop your ego when you're successful. And once all of this happens at an emotional level, then naturally your academic rigor becomes extremely strong.
Good morning, sir. I'm sure everyone's actually eagerly awaiting to hear from you. So, now starting off simple, what drew you to your field and how has your perspective on it evolved over time?
What drew me to my field was just this innate desire for me to serve the society. I've been a humanitarian most of my life. I've served with the Art of Living Foundation for the last 25 years. And early 2015, I ran out of funding for my charitable passion. And that's when I decided to build businesses with one single focus, one single mission to do good for the society through the profits that we make. And over time, yes, we've evolved from a small startup to a massive business conglomerate with 13 businesses operating in 100 countries. But I think the passion, the desire to serve humanity, the passion, the desire to do good for the society is as alive as it was from day one. In fact, it is a lot more now. And that's what created the businesses. And we are very proud to say that we donate 80% of our net profits back to charitable causes globally.
That is actually amazing to hear, sir. But while you were developing all of this, what were the few challenges that you might have faced?
I think as a business, any business has its own challenges. As a startup, it is not easy. It's never easy because when you're a startup, what do you face the most? One, nobody wants to trust you with money. Nobody wants to trust you with your product. And nobody wants to recommend you to anyone because they don't have the experience directly if your product and your services will stand up to scrutiny. So any business entrepreneurship, the challenges are pretty much the same. I faced the same. In fact, mine was a little more, much more difficult because I started all of this back in Jamaica. Jamaica is a very small country. It's only a population of 3 million, but one of the most gorgeous, beautiful country in the world too. But to run a global empire, to create a global business out of Jamaica is a lot more challenging also. So as time passed, we came out of Jamaica. We, moved around the world and we managed to build a business of this size.
That is beautiful. That's an amazing accomplishment. Very few can actually, have the power, have the determination to try something like this and achieve it very successfully. Now, moving on. So, mentorship has always played an important part of your life. And what role does mentorship play in your profession, and how do you approach mentoring others as well?
If I talk about my personal mentorships, I didn't have much business mentorship as such. But what I did have prior to my business mentorship was a spiritual mentorship from Sri Ravi Shankar. He's the founder of the Art of Living Foundation. I've been very closely associated with him for many, many years, 2.5 decades now. And I think the very foundation of any person, any business, when it is spirituality, when it is human values, when it is honoring and respecting others and lives of others, you have a very different approach in everything you do. When your upbringing and the mentorship that I received was around service to the society from Sri Ravi Shankar, and this knowledge, this wisdom that I've gained over time from him, and this passion that is instilled in us to do good for the society through the Art of Living Foundation is actually the true mentorship I would say that one should receive. Business mentorship, yes, people will teach you skills. You should do it this way. Your product should be like this, and your pricing should be like this. And these are your phenomenal business strategies that you can adapt to grow globally. But remember, none of this is going to give you the success you need unless your foundation is embedded in spirituality, in service to others, in honesty, integrity, and truthfulness. I think I'm very privileged that my mentorship has been on a spiritual frontier all throughout. That has helped me in my business journey tremendously. And in terms of my mentorship to others, I've always been open to mentor. I have tried my best, no matter how busy I am. I've always taken out for anybody who's reached out to me for any help.
That is very nice, sir. Is there anyone in particular you're very proud of who you've mentored by any chance?
Wow, it's a good question. No, I have mentored so many. Look, for example, we started the Amber Heart Academy now in Jamaica 3 years ago, where we brought street kids off the street and teach them, well, taught them how to code. We started a whole coding academy of our own, which is fully funded by my business. We pay for their accommodation, their food, their laptops, their education for the whole year, and turn them into software developers end of the year. So there's no one person I can think of, but we have impacted hundreds and thousands of lives all over the world already through the Amber Group.
That's very nice, sir. Now, you've been in your profession for a long time. You've been mentoring others. You've been helping others for a long time. What are some common misconceptions that you faced about your profession? Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Um, you know, one aspect that I think is a problem with a lot of entrepreneurs, in my view, that as soon as you become successful, most entrepreneurs, something goes into their head, which is what we need to prevent from. I think, to me, like Shri Ravi Shankar once said, that use your ego when you're failing and drop your ego when you're successful. But most people do it the other way around. When you're successful, stay humble, stay grounded, because that success is not your success. It is the trust of the society is what made you successful. And I think the other parameter, I also think what happens is when people start becoming successful, and yes, we are successful as a business. So obviously we start wearing fancier clothing, and we start wearing higher brands and fly business class. And the common misconception is, look, he's just made a little money and is showing off. No, we are not showing off. There is a difference between showing off when you're trying to flash your money versus you are keeping some standards so that the others also respect you as a business, respect you when you go out and meet bigger clients. The world is a very different place. Wealth attracts wealth. There is this common understanding in people that if you don't look nice, if you don't dress nice, oh, you're unsure of the person straight away. So appearance also matters. So we have to start learning to differentiate between what is ego and what is required for the business. The two different matters completely. Yes, and I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs also who have gone into this journey of really flashing, showing off, and there's a difference in that. To me, humility, keeping a ground leveled at all times, and focusing on really what matters is doing good. Takes you a longer distance than showing off and becoming egoistic as time passes.
So we need to stay humble as we keep getting
Absolutely.
successful. Yes, so that is an important value we all need to know.
Absolutely.
Now, one final thing about your own profession. Is there any, what future development or shifts do you expect in this?
I think as a technology business, I think you're hearing AI
Yeah.
everywhere in everything. And I think fundamentally AI is becoming the supercharged, superpower way of changing the businesses. Of course, as a technology business, we have to stay absolutely in the center of this at all times. We've got so many different businesses. Like I said at the start, we operate about 13 businesses across the world. And in every business, one of the key elements why we're growing so fast is also because we are changing with the time, changing with the new technological demands, changing with what the customer expectations are in terms of their experience with our products. So I think as a business, AI is the new frontier. We are putting a lot of focus in that space. And also, alongside AI and the technological revolution, we're also looking at how our team members across the world, we have hundreds of staff all over the world, how do we also elevate their consciousness? How do we elevate them as individuals to manage the modern world stresses, manage the modern world problems and conflicts and all the issues that we face on a daily basis. So I think apart from focusing on the technological advancement, we are also, as a business, highly focused on the mental health of our teams and people all over the world.
So this mental health, sir, it also has to be a part of the school's education as well. The education goes beyond textbooks. It's all about, things, soft skills that will help you in the future. Now, how do you think educational methodologies need to evolve to prepare students better for the future?
You're so right. If you look at our entire educational system, nowhere we are taught how to handle our negative emotions. Nowhere we are taught how to manage conflicts. And as a result, as we grow older and we become teenagers, then I see the teenagers in a crossroads today. Either they're angry or they're depressed, which is not healthy on both sides for our future generations. And hence, I think mental health is such an important requirement in the modern day and age. The viruses that we see today never existed before. The ability of us to fall sick so fast. If somebody sneezes next door, and in one day you're also sneezing and falling sick, our immunity, our mental health, our emotional health, all of this is extremely important, and especially for students. If we do not cultivate this resilience of mental health inside us at this early age, it might be too late. I still remember when I was young, my mother would angrily tell me not to be angry. And that won't work because they also have never been trained how to manage their anger better. They also not been trained how to handle their emotions better. And I think we've all at some point have to take responsibility for our mind. And the quality of our mind is what determines the quality of our life. And if, as students, if we don't focus on our mind, we do not educate ourselves through breathing exercises, meditation, allowing certain tools in our life that can keep us calm, raise our immunity, raise our energies, then obviously we will remain short tempered. We will remain, if you see a child these days, if you criticize them even slightly,
They get
look
ups-
at the reaction the kids have these days. They can't handle it. They can't handle criticism. And if you can't handle criticism in this young age, when you're criticized for something so little, also, can you imagine when you go out into the real world, when you become a professional, what's going to happen? So it's very important that we start developing our mind from an early age in this modern world.
Yes, sir. So, to manage a kid's anger, depression, parents play a key role in this. So, now how do you think these parents and communities can help in the educational process to support the student's success as well?
I think you're quite right. Parents play a massive role when it comes to children. Like I said, if the parents are full of stress, if the parents have not educated themselves how to handle their own minds, they're going to pass on that stress and pass on that anger and frustration into the child's life. And I think that is why it is important that it's a 360 view that one needs to take as a family. That if we want the family to flourish, a family to thrive, family to be happy, then each individual in the family have to take responsibility for their own mental health, have to learn more tools such as the art of living workshops and many other tools that you can find, whatever it takes. for you to be calm, composed, be at ease is what you will pass on to the next generation around you.
So they have to be emotionally strong, mentally strong, accept constructive criticism and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now, how do you envision the balance between academic rigor? Because most students face a lot of stress and pressure regarding their academics, marks, and all of that, and between the emotional well being in student development.
It's a very beautiful link, actually. Your
Yes.
academic rigor is straight linked to your emotional well being. If you're emotionally strong academically, you will do very, very well.
Yes.
If you learned how to remain calm, if you learned how to remain energetic, enthusiastic in life, your retention of all that you learn becomes better.
Mm.
A stressful mind cannot retain good memory. It's not possible. The more stressed you are, the more you will be forgetful. The more stressed you are, your ability to understand your own academia is going to be very, very less. When your mind is stress free, your ability to absorb knowledge becomes better.
Mm.
And that is the academic rigor you're looking for. Academic rigor, in my view, is simply your ability to retain what you've learned and your ability to understand what you're learning in such a way that it doesn't just become a concept, but it becomes knowledge inside you. And all of this is possible through emotional well-being only. When your emotional well-being is taken care of, you become happier, you become optimistic, you become resilient, you become strong, you become confident, and you lose all this anxiety and your fear. And once all of this happens at an emotional level, then naturally your academic rigor becomes extremely strong. And it's all about going back to that source of who we are and understand our mind body complex and look after it so that your educational academic rigor becomes successful.
Yes, sir. So now, obviously, there are like a few changes we need in our education system. Do you have any ideas? It's a very straightforward question, but do you have any ideas, any changes, anything you could bring to society regarding the
I
education
would say
system?
even today, as much as a lot of educational institutions are doing a little more, but a lot more is required in the space of mental health of students. If you look at what is happening in India, the suicide rates are still very, very high. The pressure to have 99% is very, very high. The pressure of academy is so high. The societal pressure to be successful is so high. We are losing something called humanity in this. And to me, I would only advise to all educational institutions, parents, educators, students, everybody, that let's start with humanity and
Right.
then look at everything else that we can develop through it.
So, humanity and then any other change you could probably bring to this world.
Correct.
Yes. So, now moving on to our school, sir. So, what was your general impression when you first heard about SSVM World School?
You know, I'd heard of SSVM for a few years now, but I had the opportunity for the first time to come to SSVM school and take a full tour about 3 to 4 months ago, and I was blown away. I could not believe I'm in India, first of all. It was such a phenomenal experience for me to see how much thought process has gone through to build this school. How many different aspects of education, not just from the perspective of the academic education, but all the extracurriculum from mental health to sports to name it. I think the SSVM World School have done something remarkable in terms of bringing together a very holistic upbringing and education for every child who studies here. So I must congratulate
Yes.
the board members, the founders, everybody of SSVM World School to set an example of what schools should be in the modern India.
As a student here, that's very happy, sir. That makes me very happy to hear that. So now, to be at the leading edge in school education by developing individuals who will lead the future. This is the vision of SSVM World School. Now, how do you think this vision aligns with your personal values and your education philosophy?
I think um, these are the fundamental grounds on which every vision must be built on. And I think we're all heading the right track. It's absolutely aligned with how we think also. And like I said, SSVM have done some remarkable work, and I can see the happy, bright faces in the school also as I walked past all your students. It's good to be here, and it's phenomenal to see that how this vision is truly shaping the future of students.
Yes, sir. So, now, do you think that our school might face any unique challenges or opportunities even in the near future as the world keeps developing?
I think what is very important that we need to look at how the academia itself is changing. Now, the inclusion of artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics, these are becoming very basic requirement of modern education. Because no matter what college you go to after this, no matter what job you take after this, your life will touch all of these three things extremely strongly going forward. And I think one of the things where opportunities lie with all schools and all educational schools across the world is not just trained in academia in terms of history and geography and mathematics and all those things, but also now must have two big inclusions. One I would suggest is human values. It's also needs to be curated scientifically into the student's mind as we educate them further, and also look at how artificial intelligence training, for example, prompt engineering is becoming a very big course, very big requirement, whether you're in school or college or in a job. Prompt engineering allows you to give instructions to artificial intelligence to build what you want them to build, what you want it to build. So I think human values, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all those things have to be a lot more strongly incorporated for the students, because as you leave school and go ahead, this all these things will become the basic necessity for you to have learned.
Especially in this current generation
Correct.
where AI is probably going to take over the world as well. So now, how do you think that the school's philosophy and values impacts the community, the society, and even globally?
That's a fantastic question. The values that the schools operate with are the values the children are going to carry with them out into the society. When you leave the school and go out and people look at you, your charisma, your confidence, your ability to respond to situations with great calmness, your intelligence, how you share your ideas in the society downstream to make it better, all of these things represent your upbringing through the school educational system. So I think it's very interlinked, and I'm very certain all the graduates of SSVM school would make SSVM proud for all the skills and all the human values which have been inculcated out of this institution into you guys.
And the final question, sir, out of topic, but how did you feel? I heard you were a pilot. So, how did you feel when you flew a plane for the first time ever?
I am still a pilot. I have my licenses current. I fly a lot. The first time, what happened actually, I was with my instructor doing circuits, and I landed, and suddenly the instructor jumped off the plane and he said, Dushyant, go solo. I said, no, 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 I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I can't fly solo yet. And he said, no, you're ready. Go. And the first time to lift off by yourself and there is nobody else in the cockpit, it was an incredible experience. But what I learned also, that as humans we never think we are ready. We always think, yeah, I need a little more practice, I need a little more time and I'll be ready. No, I think we have to start believing that as soon as you've gained enough experience, go take the leap.
Yes,
if
sir.
if not, you're holding yourself back.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks for listening to my questions. Thanks for answering them. I'm sure everyone's, excited to hear your thoughts, your insights. It's truly an amazing moment for me as well. Yes, sir.
Thank you for being a wonderful host,
Thank you.
and good luck for your future studies
Thank you.
and professions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.